Hi everyone, this is Sean, and I'm doing my first movie, and I tried using having my YouTube account before, but it got taken down because I kept using regular movie footage instead of my own stuff. So I thought with my new account I'd try something new, do movie reviews. And this for the first review, I'm doing my new favorite movie ever, The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey. When I first went to see I actually did not know about this movie until I had gone to see The Dark Knight Rises in theaters. So I went to see Dark Knight Rises, and then I saw the trailer for this in theaters. I was like, oh my god, they're actually making another movie. And to tell you the truth, I did not know anything about The Hobbit prior to seeing this trailer. I had never even read the book at all. I never read the book growing up because it wasn't something that I was familiar with as a child. I wasn't even familiar with Lord of the Rings until like 4 years after Return of the King came out, and that was when I went to my friend Kenny's house, and he got me into the series. So I've been a fan of it ever since. But as for the movie, once I saw the trailer, I started looking up stuff online about The Hobbit and all, the movie and the book. And when I first heard it was a 2-part movie, which I'm sure everyone heard. But then when I heard it was 3 parts, I figured, okay, maybe they're gonna do that to even it out with Lord of the Rings. Or maybe Peter Jackson just wanted to tell more of a story. Maybe both. But when I first saw this movie in theaters, I saw it opening day on December 14, 2012 at 11:30 in the morning. So it was like one of the first showings of the day. I went and seen this in the theater. And I had a great time. I really don't think I can say much without going into spoilers, but being this movie's been out for about past 4 or 5 months, I think everyone's seen it. I can go into spoilers if I want. This movie starts out with a narration by Ian Holm, who plays the older Bilbo, who basically narrates what happened to the dwarves, how they lost their treasure to the dragon Smaug and all that stuff. And then we open 60 years later with the real beginning of the novel, which was Gandalf meeting up with Bilbo and I guess if you want to say forcing him to go on the journey, I guess you could say that, or persuading him, whichever. Apparently, Bilbo was a kid who was always adventurous, always wanted to go out on an adventure, and then now, years later, Bilbo is a gruffy, stuck-up hobbit. More into protecting his mother's possessions than he is adventures. So, when Gandalf sees this, he thinks that the adventure would be good for him to get him pull him out of his shell, which I thought that was cool. And then Bilbo is met up by 13 dwarves, one of which does not think he's suitable for the journey, and that is Thorin Oakenshield. And he just doesn't like Bilbo at first. But like with Fellowship of the Ring, this movie takes about at least an hour for anything to get set up, really. But I think most people say this one was the slowest to get started out of the 4 movies. But I loved it. I loved the best. This to me was the best of the 4. And there is, for those who have read the original 1937 Hobbit novel, there is a scene in this movie which, above the whole film, was my favorite scene the most. And it was the Riddles in the Dark scene with Bilbo and Gollum, and everyone says Gollum looked better in this one, but to me, Gollum just didn't really look all that different. Because the only difference was the muscles. They made the muscles look like they were real muscles, basically. The skin was the same. The only thing they changed was the under, I guess, I don't know what you call it, undercoverings or something. But that's pretty much all they changed, really, was the muscle movements. But you gotta figure, it's been 10 years, so the digital technology has updated ever since. And speaking of the digital, they went from people in suits to now digital orcs. It's something that Peter Jackson always wanted to do, but the technology wasn't available at the time. So he had to do people in suits. Um, I think the main antagonist of this one isn't Smaug yet, even on the book it is Smaug. But in this one, I think it was Azog the Defiler, who has a big beef with Thorn, or vice versa. They have a big beef with each other. I don't know. I don't think I've read. I think I would have known that if I read the book, but I never read it. Or Azog is not in the book. I don't know yet. I don't know if I read it. Hold on. Okay. But the Bilbo and the dwarves go to Rivendell, and we are met up with some 3 alumni from Lord of the Rings. Elrond, Galadriel, and Saruman, who at this time has not became a douche yet. He's not turned yet, we'll put it that way. But I think in one of the next 2 movies he might. I don't know yet. I really liked how they showed how Bilbo got the sword sting, here, like over there, this one. And then it shows how he got the ring, but they changed it from the way it was in Fellowship of the Ring, which, I mean, yeah, that's one thing they could have done the same, but, with prequels, they do stuff differently. And I even noticed that Ian Holmes' hair was white, the way it was towards the end of Lord of the Rings. Not the way it was in the beginning of Fellowship where it was gray, but that's just a nitpick that I can throw away. Because the movie itself was a very good movie. We also see, if you've seen Fellowship of the Ring, there is a section where Bilbo says that he had a counter with 3 monstrous trolls, and they were all arguing about how they were going to cook them. In this one, we get to see that, and I thought that was a very good thing we got to see. I'm going to put this down, my hand's getting tired. But like I said, I can't go into this movie without spoilers, I think I just did. And this movie ends with it. You basically know there's gonna be 2 more movies. So this movie ends with a shot of Smaug basically waking up, which I think is kind of a scene they've been doing for a long time since the movie Avatar. Because Avatar ended with Jake Sully waking up as an avatar in his avatar body, his eyes popped open at the end of the movie. And then Breaking Dawn Part 1 did that with Bella waking up. And then now they did that here with Smaug waking up. His eyes pop open and then black to credits. So this is like the 3rd time that I've seen this ending. But done very differently though. I swear they gotta come up with new endings, because if they're gonna use the same ending for years, that's gonna be just ridiculous. But I do like the ending of this movie, where Bilbo and Thorin, they become kind of friends, because Bilbo basically tries to save Thorin's life. I thought that was really cool, because even though Thorin didn't like him, Bilbo still wanted to do something nice, he risked his life for Thorin. Sorry, I said something to eat, but yeah, I think the reason why Bilbo did it is, even though Thorin didn't like him, he just wanted to do something nice. Maybe it would make Thorin like him if he did. So he did. He basically risked his life to save Thorin. That was really cool. And in this movie, for those who read the book, they know that Gandalf is in and out of the journey with the dwarves. So in this, in the other 2 movies, they wanted to fill in those gaps of where Gandalf disappears to for a large chunk of the book. And that's why we get to see the White Council with Elrond, Galadriel, Saruman, and Gandalf. That is where Gandalf was during that part, and all that other stuff. And then we also get to see a character named Radagast the Brown, who was not really in The Hobbit. He was more in, The Lord of the Rings than The Hobbit. He was only mentioned in The Hobbit. But I don't know why, but they just put him in this one. But I thought he was kind of a cool character. I did not hate him as much as other people did. I thought he was a really cool character. And I've mentioned that I saw this in the 24 frames of 2D. I do not go see 3D movies that much. Mainly because when I went to see when I was watching Spy Kids 3D Game Over, Like halfway through the movie, my eyes started hurting, and I had to take off the glasses to itch my eyes. So I just don't go see 3D movies that much, just for that reason. Especially with The Hobbit, my eyes would have been hurting like millions of times. And then plus the whole 48 frames. What I've heard from it, it is not even a good thing anyway. They say it's supposed to be more immersive, help with the headaches and all, and 3D and all. But that is not what I've heard. I heard that the 3D is complete opposite. That it takes you out of them. It takes you out of the film. That the 24 frames is more immersive than the 48. That the 48 takes you out of the movie. So I mean, I might go see Desolation of Smaug like that, but I'm not pretty sure yet. I might just go see the 24 frames, like I did before, the Unexpected Journey. And now on to the cast. The returning cast members are pretty much the same. Ian McKellen is back as Gandalf the Grey this time. He was Gandalf the White in the last movie. Hugo Weaving from Lord of the Rings and Transformers reprises his role as Elrond. I don't think I could get any other actor to do that part. Cate Blanchett from the Lord of the Rings, she comes back as Galadriel, and then Christopher Lee as Saruman. I thought that was really nice. They got them to come back. Ian Holm and Martin Freeman both play Bilbo Baggins, but at different ages. I think originally when Guillermo del Toro was originally signed to direct this, he wanted Ian Holm to play Bilbo, but he realized that Ian Holm probably would not be able to handle all the stunts and the physical aspects. So that's why they kept him in the prologue for that part, which I thought was really nice. They at least tied him into the movies. And then, so he has a small cameo in the movie. And then they also have Elijah Wood in it for a cameo to kind of tie that into Fellowship of the Ring, which I thought was a really nice touch. And there are talks of Ian and Elijah coming back for the next two movies. But from where I'm thinking, if they're trying to connect all the dots, trying to bridge the gap between Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, wouldn't it make more sense to just save Ian and Elijah for the end of There and Back Again to tie that into Fellowship? And just not have them in the second one? But that's just my opinion. I'm not the one making the movies. I just make the opinions. But and then they have Andy Serkis playing Gollum once again. Between Gollum and Caesar from Rise of the Planet of the Apes, I think Gollum is a better character for him because he's played Gollum 3 times. He's played 4 times now because of this. And I have read that even though Gollum was only in that one part of the book, he will be back in Desolation of Smaug. I can't say the same about There and Back Again though, but he will be in Desolation of Smaug very much. But yeah, I think Gollum was a better choice for him, not Caesar. I mean, I liked him as Caesar, but in Rise of the Planet of the Apes, but okay, I'm getting a little too far off track. I'm getting a little too far off track here. Let's see. So yeah, Andy Serkis is back as Gollum for a 4th time. Well, 3rd time if you don't count. Sorry about that. 3rd time if you don't count his appearance in Fellowship. But if you do, then it's 4th time. And then they got, let's see, what was the guy's name? And they got Richard Armitage as Thorin. And then the other dwarves, I don't remember their names offhand. Like their real names offhand. But when I was watching the video blogs on the DVD and on YouTube, I thought it was very nice how they had John Rhys Davies, who played Gimli in the original Lord of the Rings trilogy. I thought it was very cool. They had him come on set, and he got to meet his father, Gloin, who was in this movie. I thought that was really nice. And he's like, you lucky buggers. Just wait until Peter Jackson has you run up a hill in full pack. You'll be sweating a lot, or something like that. And then I just thought that was really nice. He was basically telling them about his experience in Lord of the Rings, his experiences in Lord of the Rings. That was very cool to see him. And I'm pretty sure a lot of the people from Lord of the Rings went to the premiere of The Hobbit. Sorry about that. I'm sure a lot of people from Lord of the Rings went to see The Hobbit, just to voice their opinions. Um, and I read online that but Orlando Bloom will be in the movie. He's not in this one. He will be in the next one. I've read, which I thought that was a nice touch to bring in. They're trying to bring back the immortal characters from Lord of the Rings, which I think is really cool to tie the series together. Because Legolas does not appear in the novel, but you got to figure they're pulling from the appendices and other works probably. They're doing the novel and the appendices basically. They don't have the rights to Silmarillion or Unfinished Tales. The only thing they have the rights to are Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, and then the appendices in the back of Lord of the Rings. So those are the three things they're pulling from. Well, they're not really pulling from Lord of the Rings. They just have the rights to it because of the trilogy they did 10 years ago. But other than that, they only have the rights to Hobbit and the appendices. So I think that was a nice touch. They're pulling from the appendices, they're kind of stretching it out, making it longer. And I think the third movie I heard is supposed to be basically about Bilbo's return journey, which is not even in the books. Which is not even in the book. I think that's in the appendices. I'm not sure yet. I'll probably figure it out when I go see the movie. But yeah, this movie I thought was really nice. It was a good story. It's basically the beginning of the journey, and I loved it. I really love this movie. I can't really say much more without repeating myself. So I think I'm just gonna stop the video here and say that I love The Hobbit more than I loved Lord of the Rings, even though this is the first movie. I'm planning to go see Desolation and Smaug and There and Back again, just because I plan to see all three movies in the theater, just because I missed out on Lord of the Rings. So I'm gonna go see all three movies, and I'm really looking forward to Desolation and Smaug this December. And I just hope it's good, So, and I give this movie about maybe it'd be a 9 out of 10 for me. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. Good prequel, a good start to the prequel trilogy. Yeah. So, later. Hey guys, Sean here. I know it's been like a few months since my last review. The last review I did, I think, was my Curse of Chucky review back in October. So, and that's mainly because I really don't have internet here at my house. So I basically upload these reviews, when, wherever I can. So that's why I haven't done a review since October. Sorry. Plus, I've had other stuff on my plate, been busy hanging out with friends, doing other stuff, what have you. So I thought, it's like 1 in the morning now, so I thought, still awake, might as well do a review. So, today I am going to do the second installment in the Hobbit trilogy. I will leave a few minutes at the end of this video to talk about the third movie and the new news about the title change, which I think is kind of stupid, but I'll get into that later. Right now, I'm going to talk about The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug, the one I think is the best of the five. The best of the five movies, in my opinion. This movie was released December 13, 2013. The runtime is 2 hours and 41 minutes. It stars from everybody from Unexpected Journey, directed by Peter Jackson. And a few additions, you have Benedict Cumberbatch as voice of Smaug, and the Necromancer, who is revealed to be a special character. which I will get into a second. Evangeline Lilly, she plays a newly created character just for these films. Someone who has never been in the books before. And the reason for that is because these films are mainly overpopulated by males. So they wanted to get the female demographic into these movies. So they made up a girl character, which I think is kind of cool. So she plays a elf, I think it's a Sylvan elf named Tariel. It's kind of cool. And then you got Leap Ace, who was kind of in the first movie, but didn't have a big role, and he plays the Elven King Vandriel. So he's kind of a dick, but still again nice character. Still a nice character. And then you got Luke Evans as Bard the Bowman, who has a somewhat of a big role in the third movie, and also towards the end of the book. So I'll get into that. I think I've gotten that later. I thought it was the third movie. And then you have Orlando Bloom coming back as Legolas. Like I said in my Unexpected Journey review, that Orlando Bloom was coming back, and he's back. So yes. So basically, this movie, in a sense, picks up where the last one left off. Well, we start with the kind of an unnecessary flashback, which shows Thorin showing up at the Prancing Pony in Bree because that's where he last heard information on his father, Thrain, who has gone missing since battling the orcs at Moria. And so Thorin goes looking for his father, because he heard that he might be near the Shire. So he goes there and he meets up with Gandalf, who tells him that he can find a burglar for them to, take the Arkenstone. So then we jump a year later, which is the end of, then we pick up where we left off in the end of the first movie, with Bilbo and the company still being pursued by the orcs. They meet up with a skin changer named Bjorn. I think I butchered that name. So they meet up with him, and then they go through Mirkwood. They get trapped there because they're supposed to be on a path. They stray from the path, start hallucinating, and then Bilbo basically faces some spiders, and he damn near kills one spider over the freaking ring. So even though the ring isn't like a big part of the story, like it is more like it will be in the Lord of the Rings, Bilbo is starting to be possessed by the ring, I guess you'd say. Which I do like that tie-in to the Lord of the Rings. They do a lot of tie-ins in these movies. So yeah, after that, Legolas and Tariel show up to basically, I guess, save the dwarves from the spiders, I guess. They kill the spiders, take the dwarves back to, what was it, Mirkwood, I think. So they take them back to the Elf City. I want to make this clear. They do make reference of Gimli in this movie. When Legolas and the elves are searching the dwarves, Legolas finds a necklace or something of Goins, and then says, "Who is this horrid creature? Goblin mutant." And then Goins says, "That's my wee lad, Gimli." And when I heard that in the theater, I was like, awesome. So Gimli's like a baby, Gimli's like a baby in this movie. Which I assumed when I first heard that they were going to make these into a trilogy, I assumed Gimli would be born around the end of the third movie. Of course, then again, that's discussion for a different time in the third movie. But yeah, they end up in the Elf City. Thorin and Thranduil have a discussion about how the dwarves, or how the elves betrayed the dwarves at Erebor, stuff like that. Bilbo basically helps the dwarves escape through the barrels, like in the book, but it's a totally different barrel ride than in the book. Let's see. I gotta think and remember this movie. Yeah. Gandalf does disappear again, like in the first movie. This time he goes to Dol Guldur, where Radagast was in the first movie. So yeah, Gandalf and Radagast go to Dol Guldur to find what the heck is happening. And I'm just gonna reveal it now. Gandalf gets into a confrontation with the Necromancer, and it turns out to be Sauron. Now, going into the first movie, and coming out of the first movie, I had no idea who that was. I just thought the Necromancer was just some random, like what Saruman said, some human sorcerer. It wasn't until looking it up online later I found out, oh, Sauron. So when the twist in this movie came, I kind of expected it. I literally kind of expected it. I was not shocked at all. Like I said, I expected it. So yeah, they see. So Gandalf gets trapped in a cage for this movie, sadly. So see, the dwarves they escape the woodland realm. That's what it is, the woodland realm. With elves and everything. Yeah, so they escape the woodland realm. They end up in Lake Town, which is run by a corrupt master, I guess you say, who basically only cares for himself, doesn't care about the people and all that stuff. At least what I understood from it. And so, Bard is trying to get Lake Town to be, a nice place, whereas the master of Lake Town is kind of a dick to his people. The master and his little sidekick basically put Bard into a prison after he tries helping the dwarves, because the Lake Master thinks that Bard will start an uprising against him for some reasons unexplained. But yeah, the dwarves, after they try to steal, during the barrel ride, I know I'm kind of jumping around a bit, but after the barrel ride, what was the black-haired one? Keely, I think. He gets stabbed by a Morgul arrow, like what Frodo had, but that was a sword. And so, towards the end of this movie, towards the end of this film, I'm like 10 minutes into this video, and I haven't even gotten to Smaug yet. Wow. But yeah, so yeah, let's see, what was I guess he gets stabbed by a Morgul arrow, or shot by an arrow, and towards the end of the movie, Tauriel and Legolas show up at Bard's house to fight the orcs, but Tauriel stays behind to heal Keely, because apparently her and Keely have like this attraction to each other and whatnot, and the same with her and Legolas. They tried to do like a love triangle, which I think kind of was unnecessary. They should have just picked one guy and have her go with him. You know what I mean? But it's fine. I let it fly. Anyway, the dwarves finally made it to Erebor, and they meet Smaug. And I gotta tell you guys, Benedict Cumberbatch as Smaug. Wow. He was fantastic. He was enormous. He was intelligent, articulate, freaking quick as hell, and intimidatingly badass. I mean that literally. I loved that dragon. So let's see. I want to wrap this up. this reviewing this part of the movie, I want to talk about my thoughts on the third one. So yeah, they get into a conversation with Smaug, and we also have the Bilbo Smaug, I guess conversation on points I want to call it. So yeah, we have the conversation between Bilbo and Smaug, and I think it's an amazing conversation. And the dwarves, I guess, fight Smaug. They think Smaug is dead when they melt the gold, when they melt gold and try and bury him in it. He bursts out, flies out of the mountain, and says, "I am fire, I am death." Bilbo says, "What have we done?" Cut to black. Cue the Ed Sheeran track, and I was like, "You gotta be kidding me." I was like, "You have got to be fucking kidding me." Because this movie ends on a cliffhanger. I was like, "You got to be fucking kidding me." Because I did not want this movie to end. This movie was so freaking good. I could have swore we were like, not even close to being over with this movie. That is how good this movie was and how into it I was. Just when I was so into this movie, it ends. I now understand how people felt in 1980 when they saw Empire Strikes Back, not wanting that movie to end. I understand how they felt now. But yeah, now having talked about Desolation, and I may say, best of the 5. I love it. Please see it if you have not seen it. Please definitely see it if you hope to see Battle of 5 Armies. Yes, that is the new title of this third movie. It is no longer called The Hobbit, They're Back Again, which I preferred. The movie is now called The Hobbit, The Battle of the 5 Armies. Yeah. I don't like the title change, honestly, because it makes me think that all this movie is going to be is the battle. That we're going to speed through the deaths of the Smaug, speed through the Battle of Dog Guldur with the White Council freeing Gandalf and then fighting Sauron and all this stuff. We're gonna get a long as hell battle, and then we're gonna speed through the return journey. Basically, what I think this movie's gonna be. But I am looking forward to the movie. I've seen the trailer. The trailer is freaking amazing. So I am looking forward to this movie a lot. It comes out in like 4 months and 5 days. I'm so excited. So yeah, love the Desolation of Smaug. Can't wait for the third movie. Hate the fucking title. Yeah, I think it's all I gotta say right now. But I would suggest once all 6 films are out, if you are a completely new fan to, the Middle-earth saga, as it's being called, because the tagline for the 6th movie for Battle of 5 Armies is the defining chapter of the Middle-earth saga. So I'm guessing it's what it's being called now. So if you are a newcomer to the series, please start with Unexpected Journey and go all the way to Return of the King. If you can start with Fellowship if you want, but this is the way I would recommend it. Just go Unexpected Journey, Desolation of Smaug, Battle of 5 Armies, Fellowship of the Ring, Two Towers, Return of the King. That's how I would do it if I was new to the series. You guys other people can start with Lord of the Rings if they want. That's just my personal opinion. Start with the Hobbit movies. It's just my personal opinion. You form your own. I'll see you guys later. Hey guys, Sean here. I'm gonna do a review on the new Hobbit movie. Well, technically not new because it came out last year, but you get my point. The new movie, Hobbit, The Battle of 5 Armies. You see that? The glare and everything. This is the final Hobbit movie and the final movie in the Middle Earth series. Now, I just want to say, this is an awesome movie. While it's not as good as the first 2 movies, it's still a very entertaining movie in itself.
basically the plot of this movie is after the events of Desolation and Smaug, the dragon Smaug lays siege to Lake Town, and Bardamon breaks out of prison and shoots him down with a black arrow. After that, 5 armies all battle for gold in the Lonely Mountain, mostly because Thorin is so, I don't want to say this, corrupted by the dragon sickness. I guess corrupted is a good word. And also Sauron wants the Lonely Mountain so that he can have control over some kingdom that's in the area of the mountain. I forgot what kingdom it was. So yeah, this is a very good movie. Like I said, not as good as the first two, but still very good nonetheless. I want to get the stuff I liked out of the way first, because actually, no, I'm going to start with the stuff I didn't like, because that's going to be easier to say. The character of Alfred from the last movie, I did not like him in Desolation Smaug. I still don't like him in this, and for some stupid reason, given a lot of screen time. Why, I have no flippin' idea. So yeah, I didn't like him. This thing is gonna be both a like and dislike, because the opening of this movie, like the first 10, 11 minutes, whatever, I like the scene where Bard, breaks out of prison, kills Smaug while he's laying siege to Lake Town. The reason why I also don't like it is because you can obviously tell this is meant to be the end of the last movie, but I'm guessing Peter Jackson wanted something big to open this movie with, so he put this scene into the third movie. So it's a like and don't like kind of thing, you know what I mean? And also, while the movie is very good, I really didn't like the title of the movie. I still don't. Because, like I said in my Desolation Smaug review, this movie makes me, like I said in the Desolation Smaug review, this title makes me think the majority of the movie is the battle. And sort of kind of is, because the battle's like 45 minutes long in this movie, and the movie's about 144 minutes, which is about 2 hours, 24 minutes. It's the shortest Middle-earth movie, which I find kind of weird, but who knows. So yeah, like I said, this movie's really good. Now let me get to the parts that I liked now. Let's see. The action scenes are good. The actors are still perfect in their roles. I really like Martin Freeman in the role of Bilbo. I think he's really, really witty, really well written, and even though he does go into the background with each subsequent movie, he still does his best to kind of be the lead. And I liked how they set up Lord of the Rings, especially with the necromancer storyline and the fact that Thorin, gives Bilbo the Mithril vest that Bilbo eventually gives to Frodo in Fellowship. So yeah, I liked all the Lord of the Rings tie-ins within this trilogy, and I know I'm gonna be probably shot in the foot for this by people, but I actually prefer these movies to the book. Like, I've actually read the book at least once that I remember. Like, I read part of it before Desolation came out, and then after Desolation, I read the rest of the book in preparation for Battle of 5 Armies so that I knew what would happen and whatnot. So, even before I went into the movie, I was kind of spoiled because I read the book. But I will admit the book is very good. I just prefer the movie more because I like how it, ties into the Lord of the Rings. But if you guys like the book more, that's your opinion. I'm not gonna try and sway you. But for me, I like the movies more. That's my opinion. people shooting off fireworks. If you can hear a big boom, it's just people are shooting off fireworks. So yes, like I said, I do like these movies more than I like the book. If you guys like the book more, have at it. And if you guys want to, you can see my other 2 Hobbit reviews on my channel. But I will recommend you, please do not see this movie if you've not seen the first 2 Hobbit movies, because you will be a little confused. What else I want to say? I'll see. Okay, back to the stuff I liked. I know I went on a tangent, but I do that in my reviews for some reason. But yeah, the action scenes are good. The cast is really strong. Thorin's character arc is kind of a strange one if you think about it. Because in the beginning of the movie, he's, corrupted by the dragon sickness. But about an hour and 24 minutes in, like when the movie's almost over, he finally, comes out of it, which I thought was really cool. I'm sure people say that this movie, he was, his turn was like that. No. If you watch the Desolation Smaug, it kind of is built up through the movie, and you can tell because of the decisions he makes. And as well as, towards the end of the movie, when they finally get to the mountain, even Balin is able to notice a change in him. Because he even says, when Thorin says, "I'm not my grandfather," Balin even says, "You're not yourself. Thorin I know would not hesitate to go in there." So which, you can tell that Thorin's starting to change. And the reason in this movie, there's a scene where Bilbo basically calls Thorin out on being, corrupted. His, mind all, what I mean? And it's a scene where they're on the tower of Erebor, where where Bilbo confesses that he took the Arkenstone to give to Thandril and Bard, and him and Thorin are talking about him, stealing from him, and yada yada, and then another one, Bilbo says, "The dwarf I met in Bag End would not have gone back on his word. But doubt the loyalty of his kin." Even Bilbo notices the change in him. And yes, Bilbo did get the Arkenstone at the end in Desolation. You guys didn't know that. So yeah, I find this movie very enjoyable. It's a really good movie. I am hoping to pick up the extended edition when it's out. Because right now I only have the extended editions of the Desolation Smaug and the Return of the King. So when I hope to get the other 4 extended editions: Unexpected Journey, Battle of Armies, Desolation, or not Desolation, but Trilogy of the Ring, and Two Towers. I'm hoping to get the other 4 extended editions because I hear they're all really the extendeds are really good. But I have to say this review is hard to do because I've been trying to do it for months and I just couldn't come up with a way to do it. But I think I did a really good job. I will eventually review Lord of the Rings. I have to sit and actually watch those movies again because it's been a while since I watched them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I don't know what my next review is yet. Maybe Dracula Untold. I don't know yet because I've been wanting to do a review of that for a while. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. My next review will be up maybe either in a couple of days or next week. Don't know yet. Oh, and I just remembered. If you guys happen to be new fans of Middle-earth, you don't have to do this, but this is my suggestion to you guys. Watch these movies chronologically. Watch them from here. Watch them this one first, then this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Watch them chronologically, but that's my suggestion. You guys don't have to. That's just my suggestion.